thousands of dollars to fix your power locks. Crazy. Let's get started. You heard that right? Thousands, not hundreds, thousands of dollars. This is a 2005 Mercedes CL55 AMG. We're not going to get into all the horsepower figures and things of that nature today, but it is a very fast and very elegant car. This one especially is very beautiful. The complaint the customer has is that his power locks, his soft closed doors, his headrests, his lumbar features in his seats, his soft closed trunk, all of these features have just died. They just stopped. On most cars, these features are electronic. They are ran by electric motors, wires, 12 volts. That's the kind of things you normally think about. But Mercedes has been using pressure and vacuum systems even clear back into the 70s and 80s, and this one is no exception. It is a 2005 and is still using this older system. It is very expensive to fix, and what really entails the price being so high is the parts are so high. So before we dive in and show you how complex and expensive this system is, let's take a look at this car. I know you guys want to check it out. I agree with you, it's beautiful. It is a very nice Mercedes. So there's the classy front end of this CL55. And yes, it is very fast. It is a supercharged V8. We'll look under the hood here in a minute. But I love the looks of this car on its side profile. It's a very low profile, long swept car. It goes all the way back, kind of a straight line from the headlight almost all the way through to the tail light. It's really cool. It does have the AMG wheels, being that this is an AMG model. And it has some nice drilled rotors. You can see them through the spokes of the wheel there. And as we come around to the back, it's very beautiful back here, classy. I love these cars. CL55 AMG. Faster than probably a Ferrari of its era. These taillights are really, really cool. I love the 4 clear lenses there. Very elegant. This one's in very good shape, as you can see. No chips, no scratches, no dents. It's been taken very good care of. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. Look at that big supercharger on top. Let's see if we can read the data plate here. N. Bondorf. Anyways, that's who assembled the engine. You can see it has a twin belt system here. One belt runs the accessories, the other one runs the supercharger. You can see under the hood it's been kept in good shape, decent condition. This does have SBC brakes, which in 04 or 05 could be problematic, but this customer does not have to worry because Mercedes has a massive program going for that if it ever gives this guy trouble, he can go to the dealer and get that fixed for free. And being that the charge is 0, there's no sense in me even looking at that. So we're not going to be messing with the SBC brakes. Let's go ahead and hop into the interior.
There it is, ladies and gents, 139,492 miles. This has got some good miles on it, but not too crazy. As we move back, it's looking good. No cracks up there. Dash is looking in good shape. Nice dove gray. It does have some nice wood grain added, and I can see no cracks in the lacquer. It's looking really, really good. My passenger today is the car cover for this car, so it is kept in very nice shape and protected from even dust landing on it. But if we look at the door card, more wood trim added, and we can see there are those controls that do not work because the system is broken. If we look at the back seat, it's in really good shape. This is a 4-seater because, again, that center section is taken up, has a nice armrest, and does have a little nice secret hidey spot in the center. But again, the seats are in great shape. There's no rips, no tears. It's looking in really great condition. Headliner, same case. Well, for the most part. Looks like we have a little bit of something going on here, and a little bit of foam, and well, hopefully that could get tucked in and you won't see it. My solution for that would be just to keep that open all the time and out of sight, out of mind. But that's the customer's call. So as we land at the steering wheel, you can see it does have something added. We've got a positive and a negative. It's got floppy paddles in the back, sort of. Floppy buttons. Let's take a peek. There we go. There's one of them. There's the plus one, and the negative is going to be on the other side, looking just the same. So that's definitely a different addition to this car. Most Mercedes did not come with floppy paddle design, or at least floppy buttons on their steering wheels. But again, normal controls, it does have a cover, and we can only assume that there must be something that they're trying to hide on there. Must be maybe the leather is not doing so well, maybe it's gotten sunburned, but we're not going to find out because customer put it there and they want it to be left there, so we're not taking it off. So this is all interesting in here. Very nice classic Mercedes design. Let's go see what the wizard has found with all these vacuum issues.
So now that we've informed you guys that everything on here is vacuum controlled as far as lock actuation, the seats, soft close, all these features, now that that system is not working, it's dead, you can't open your trunk. You can't do anything. So you have to pull out your handy dandy key. And actuate the lock manually with the key. And manually open it. Put our little key back. And Magic Mike has the entire interior out of the trunk, all the little panels and things, so that we can show you. Over here's our CD changer and navigation and everything, but right here, those yellow things you see there, those are not wires. Those are vacuum and pressure lines. This little black box has a vacuum pump or a pressure pump inside of it. It can do either. And there's solenoids inside of this box that can actuate doors or soft close or trunk or all the various circuits in the car. These are not electrical circuits, these are vacuum circuits. When this system fails, it's very annoying. It makes it difficult to get in and out of the car. You can't use your fob to do the actuation of the locks because the pump, which is inside that little box, is dead. It's not working, so nothing works. The little black box I just showed you is over $1,000 just for that box. That doesn't include anything else. And what commonly causes these to fail is a leak. It could be one of the bladders inside the seats. It could be a door lock actuator. It could be anything in this system that leaked and it constantly ran and ran and ran until it finally, over time, burned up the pump. So let's get Magic Mike out here and show you how we discovered this and what some of the solutions going forward are. So here at the shop we do have Star Diagnostics, which is the OEM dealer computer for this car. And Magic Mike's very familiar with it. He used it at the dealership where he was at El Cajon, California. And what we're going to do is use the diagnostic computer to turn on the little box I just showed you. So we have one of the door actuator lines unhooked right here. And in place of it, I placed a vacuum line to a vacuum gauge. When Magic Mike goes to operate it through the scan tool, we should see the gauge move. It shows some amount of vacuum. At least something's happening. So let's see if it does anything. Go ahead, Magic Mike. So you can hear, it just turned on. The pump is running. And I can feel it. So we know we're getting power and ground. But nothing happened on the needle. Go ahead and do it again, Michael. Okay. There you can hear it turned on again. It is working, but the little pump inside of it is dead, the actual mechanical pump. So now we know the pump is dead, but there's a test inside of this that can check for leaks, right?
I can actually go into each individual branch of the PSC system, the pneumatic system equipment, and check if there was one that was leaking. But right now what we're seeing is none of those are generating any pressure. So we know right off the bat the pump has failed.
Right. It failed, but very likely because there's a leak, and we won't know where is the leak. We can't even run the test until we first get the pump replaced so it can actually run the test. But once we get the pump replaced, using the scan tool, it will tell us exactly what went wrong, where did it happen, and we can then go from there. All right, Magic Mike, I'll let you get back to it. So thanks for showing this for us.
Happy to help.
Yep. So we're not going to lift the car at this time and look underneath it and everything. We spent a lot of time looking into what's going on with this vacuum system. And just like I just mentioned, we know a leak caused the pump to fail, and there are other ways to find the leaks or whatever, but if we use the scan tool system, it's very fast. It goes through and runs all the solenoids. It checks how much time it took to actuate. Did it actuate? And like in literally 2 minutes, we can know exactly where the leak is. But unfortunately, this is one of those strange situations in a shop with a customer that you say, this could cost $4 or $5 grand. But we have to spend $1 or $2 to even know how bad it's going to be. So we did get the okay with the customer. The customer understands. He said, go ahead and get the PSC pump. And then from there, he says, I'm willing to go further. I want this system working. And now that I know he's willing to pony up the money, we're willing to dive in and figure out what's going on. Once we get the new PSE pump installed, which also has to be programmed, luckily we have the Star Diagnostic that can retrieve the old information off the module and put it onto the new module. But in these doors, each lock can range anywhere from $600 to $800 per door. If both of them are leaking, the labor and the parts to pull all the door panels off and everything could easily get to $2,500. On top of the $1,000 or $2,000 we just spent figuring out what's going on with the PSE pump. We have programming time, diagnostic time. We have quite a bit of time in this just figuring out what's wrong. The likelihood of multiple items failing all at once is very rare. It's probably just one issue with one particular item. When we scanned for codes, it did say basically in the vacuum system, it listed the door locks, the headrest, the seats. It listed all these items and said they all have failed. But for an unscrupulous mechanic, an untrustworthy mechanic, they could easily say, oh, well, we need to replace the entire system. Look, here's the codes. It says they've all failed. No, they failed because there's no vacuum. The computer is just saying, we asked these things to move. They did not move, so they're failed. But they didn't move because the vacuum pump's dead. That's all it is. It is possible that internal to the seats that the seat bladders or the headrest system has failed, and if that's the case, we may have to pull the whole leather apart. We did inform the customer there's the option. Very likely what we would do here is just cap it off. And you can actually use Star Diagnostic to just code that particular feature out. You can literally go in the computer and say, turn off permanently the seat lumbar support system. Just don't even do it anymore. Which is kind of like some of the things we did on the bus. We turned on some features. Well, this one you can turn off some features. Because it can get so expensive so fast if we have to pull the leather off the seats, rip all the stuff out. It's a 10-hour job per seat. That doesn't include parts. If they're both bad, it could go so expensive so fast. So the customer's understanding, he probably, if the seat systems are leaking, will probably just disable that feature. That way he can bring all the other system back online and have his locks back, his soft close doors, which by the way, the lock and the soft close feature are both in each lock. So if one or the other has failed, they both require the lock to be replaced. So these cars, as beautiful as they are, they're amazing. I love these Mercedes. But these little things like this can go so expensive so fast. These older German cars, it doesn't matter if it's Audi, Volkswagen, Mercedes, BMW, when they get to past 100,000 miles like this one has, the headaches really begin. They really start to tally up big repair bills. But if you want to have this beautiful of a car, it's cheaper to fix the issues that are on here than to go to buy another car. When everything on these cars are working properly, they are unmatched by domestic cars or Asian cars. They cannot do what these things can do. They do very well. So we do get to fix this. When we figured out what was wrong, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be so expensive. This guy's probably not going to want to do this because it's so high. But I was wrong. He said, go for it. I want this system working. So we're definitely going to get it working for him. I've got the new PSE module on order. It's the little black box in the trunk. And from there we can dive in and figure out what happened here. So I just wanted to show you guys a video how there are occasions with car repairs, especially on a German car, that in order to get to the finish line, you first have to spend $1,000 or $2,000. And it might be that you spend $1,000 or $2,000 to find out, I don't want to go any further. Just stop right there. But you just lost $1,000 or $2,000. But until you spend the $1,000 or $2,000, you don't have the answers. So it's kind of a strange situation, but luckily this customer is understanding. We're going to get this solved for him. So if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to fix this really nice Mercedes, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. And no, you're not going to find a Mercedes Star Diagnostics on there. That's not going to happen. But make sure to hit the subscribe button because we got more bus videos coming. You guys just saw a bus video. There's more stuff coming down the pike. And I've got more information on my green Jag that you guys love so much. So thanks for watching.